he rested.
Yeah.
That was his end goal.
That's
His
awesome.
mind wasn't filled full with what Adam could produce for him.
Right.
His mind was filled full with having a friend. And so we can say out of that, that defines the end goal of the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
Because out of God desiring a friend, he made man and the earth and everything else. So his end goal was friendship with man.
Right.
And when I can see that his life or his mind rested in his friendship with us, I just find my mind effortlessly going to rest in my friendship with him.
Yeah.
You know, and I find my mind no longer considering all the other things.
Yeah.
You know, that I used to weigh in the balance. Now it's just always filled with this. Like when my foot was broken, I felt separated from the love of God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and people would, my friends would quote those verses to me in Paul, and I would become angry. I don't want to hear that nonsense because I feel separated from the love. And what I realized, the reason I felt separated from the love of God is because I exalted some promise in Deuteronomy 28 to be a standard whereby it was judging whether I had life or not.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that just corrupted the whole thing for
And
me.
what was the point of the Deuteronomy 28? Like,
Deuteronomy-
what was that speaking to? What was
To me, when I look at it now, and I should go back and teach it soon, but for me, it's more speaking of you'll have peace, you'll have love, you'll have joy, you'll have kindness, you'll have long-suffering wherever you go. The way you'll have that is by believing on God and his grace and not believing on the strength of the flesh. So if you look at Deuteronomy 30, he says, I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. And the thing that brought forth death and cursing was idolatry. What is the Hebrew definition for idolatry? Worshipping the works of your own hands. Okay? So if I can bring about a healing, then I'll have life. That was me worshiping the works of my own hands.
Yeah.
Right? And then faith. Deuteronomy 30, I think it is where Moses starts talking about faith as what produces blessings in life. And so Deuteronomy 28 is just us reading things from a carnal mind and not seeing the actual interpretation of it. You know, a young guy that started a church, he's on Facebook. I'm really blessed by the stuff he's saying. But he did a really cool analogy demonstrating the law and the prophets and Jesus. And he said, just bear with me, whether you believe in speaking in tongues or not, just bear with me, okay? Just for the example's sake, you know? And he said, the law and the prophets would be as if someone stood up in the congregation and gave a tongue. But no one could interpret it. And the more they tried to interpret it, the more it didn't make any sense. And then Jesus came along, and he stood up in the midst of the congregation, and he interpreted the tongue that was given in the Old Testament.
Oh, wow.
So he came and interpreted the tongue that was given in the Old Testament because we couldn't understand it. Because we were hearing spiritual words with a carnal mind.
Right.
And so we were defining everything carnally. And so Jesus comes and interprets the blessing of God as having nothing to do with some physical thing in this world. It's talking about peace, love, joy, kindness, long-suffering, and meekness. So I go back and define that through a spiritual lens, Deuteronomy 28. I don't look at it any other way than that.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how I looked at it.
Does that help?